I'm so happy. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, how embarrassing. Oh, well, my career is over. It was nice while it lasted. I'm gonna go cry now. Hey guys, it's Kanan.
It's Jesse.
And we are the Geeky Saying Couple, and welcome to our RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 3, Ace Operatives overview video. Woohoo! Okay, so this episode, like the whole entire... Oh, as you can see, we're wearing our new official Rooster Teeth Bumblebee shirts. Thank you, Rooster Teeth, for finally giving us these. Well, not giving us, but you know what I mean.
Creating them.
Yes, created them. The whole day, Saturday, after this episode, you can ask her. I was sitting there. I was playing Pokemon. I don't care what anyone says. Pokemon Sword and Shield is amazing. And I would just randomly say over and over, that was a really good episode. Like, hot damn, that was a great episode.
We had other things planned that day and just
couldn't
didn't happen. I couldn't.
I was so, like, spent. I was like, I just don't feel like doing anything else but sitting here and fanboying. Like, and it wasn't just the Bumblebee stuff. It was everything about this episode. I do have some criticisms. I do, and I think it's a good criticism. Which hopefully gets addressed in a future episode. But the pacing, the action, some of the stuff we learned, just, it was great. And I almost want to agree with Klaxon saying it's one of the best episodes in the series. I had some concerns for this episode before it aired. I even had kind of a little breakdown on Twitter about it, because I was worried. But my main worry was they were going to focus too much on the Ace Ops and kind of sacrifice the screen time for the actual main characters. Because, yes, this series is a little bit crowded as it is, to the point where even John, Ren, and Nora barely get any spotlight unless it's a fight or it's comedy related. But this episode proved me wrong, and I was so happy to be wrong. Just wow. Okay, well, let's, you got anything to say, or you just want to get into it?
Let's just go.
Okay, let's get into this. Okay, so the episode starts with a mission briefing, which, very military compared to the past, of the series. I like that the only ones present is Clover, who is the leader of the Ace Ops. Qrow, who is
his own...
Yeah, he's a licensed huntsman. And the team leaders, RWBY and John. Because Ruby's, I don't care what anyone says, Ruby's always been a good leader since Volume 1. Because she really took that, like, there was even moments in Volume 1 where she was mentoring John when they had that talk in the hallway. John has come a severely long way. Which I'll get into later with his outfit change. But yeah, it was nice. I like the little detail of it being the two team leaders at the mission briefing. Now these two, the two screens we have here, like, I'm so mad none of us caught this in the reaction. But then again, it is kind of a detail that you don't see until you blow up the pictures
or have it on a bigger screen in
yes.
HD. It's hard to see.
Now, there is a bit of an animation error here. RWBY and John are still in their Volume 4 through 6 outfits, but the pictures on the screen, they're already in their Volume 7 outfits and haircuts.
Yeah.
But but hey, stuff like that happens. It's like in chapter 2 with Blake's coat. It'll probably be fixed for the Blu-ray and DVD.
Well, the one thing I did notice is that this is happening. Yes, their pictures are on the screen, but it seems they're going back and forth between them talking and then they're already gone.
Yeah, but
So,
I mean, Ruby and John on the screen that are there are still the old outfits. But I'm also upset that I didn't catch this. If you look at the screen for everyone, they are now licensed huntsmen and huntresses. Now, I don't know if it counts for all of Remnant or just Atlas, but our children are growing up. Like, it's great to see that they're... Because, I mean, it's like Clover said in Chapter 2. They've been fighting just as hard, if not harder, than any other huntress or huntsman, including the Ace Ops.
Yeah, that also including, like, if you think about it through anything, any show that you may have watched, you know, they've learned probably way more in-depth things than they would have ever learned at Beacon. They've dealt with things that they wouldn't even encounter, even on big missions that only certain groups got to go on at Beacon. They learned a lot more with the things that have happened that...
Oh, yeah, because life is always your best teacher. I mean, yeah, you do need school, I mean, to learn, like, you know, how to read and stuff like that, even though that's not what they were at Beacon for. But as far as, like, an academy that Beacon was like, you know, to train warriors to fight Grim, they've kind of got the basis down. Though we do learn that toward the end of this episode that there is still a really large power gap.
They're at pretty much the beginning. You can switch. They're pretty much at the beginning of being a huntress and hunters, but...
Okay, now... I got, like, the whole them walking in to get their new outfits and weapons, and, like, them standing there looking at their box and all that. I got such an Avengers vibe. I don't know why, I just did. But one thing that I love to point out is, you know, this is Pietro talking. He states the upgrades you requested, meaning everyone pretty much now I do know this means for weapons, but does it go the same for their outfits, or did somebody just randomly, oh, Yang would look good in a bomber jacket, let's grab her that? Like, did they request the outfits as well, or is it just the weapon upgrades? That's the thing I'm wondering.
I'm not sure. I know they probably obviously had input into what they wanted as far as outfits to be made, because they probably would have, that part probably would have came from Winter.
Yeah, maybe. This thing still throws me off, like, you know, if they said what they wanted, like Blake being like, I want a cat suit, you know. My mom and dad told me to cover up, so, but I don't know. The weapon, this is definitely going toward their weapons. So they told Pietro what they wanted. So Blake and Yang had to have talked.
The look tells you that.
Yeah, about how to repair Gamble. They had to have. They're like, and we'll get to that when we get. I'll go more into that when we get to the actual picture. But yeah, everyone made a request on how they wanted their new weapons to go. This was just, you know, to say that, hey, there is a Geist Grim in these mines, which we haven't really seen since Volume 4. So this was just a nice little foreboding, hey, this is what you're going to be up against here in a little bit, so, you know, be safe. Now, once again, I got a huge Avengers vibe here. Like, you know, I don't know why, but the anticipation at this point, like, all of us were Nora, pretty much, at this point. It's like, oh, come on, I want to see it.
Which...
Okay, so before we get to the more infamous Renora moment of the episode, we noticed this. Here's Nora being Nora. You know, she's like super pumped. She knows that she's got a weapons upgrade in there, and she knows that she's potentially got some new threads. And Ren's just giving her this slight little smile, like
that's she's mine.
yeah, that's my Nora, you know, and it is cute. It's a cute little Because here's the well, maybe I should wait until we get to. I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe we should wait till we get to that one thing. But I'm gonna defend Ren a bit later. But yeah, this was just a cute little Renora moment.
Which that cosplay probably will happen.
Okay, here's the look I was wanting to talk about. So, and this really isn't just the whole Blake and Yang are looking at each other. Oh my gosh.
There's more behind this.
Yes, like this kind of pushes more that yes, they talked to Pietro about how to fix Gamble, what to use for it, and it's a small little detail, and us who knew about the fix picked up on this, but I really wish they had shown it.
I'm hoping that we do get some type of moment where it's a flashback, like maybe Yang asking, hey, how's Gamble working now? Now that it's been fixed, and I'm kind of hoping maybe it'll flash to
kinda
what
like
they agreed on, or
kind of like how they did in this episode with RWBY talking to Oscar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seems kind of pointless that they hid it in the art, and the Anime Arena Twitter even confirmed that when they showed their art for the Volume 7 outfits, that they had hidden certain things to keep from being spoiled for Volume 7. So why hide it if you're not going to build up on it? This is one moment where I am kind of criticizing the writing of RWBY. Maybe they couldn't fit it.
It's possible. So I'm kind of hoping it comes back as a little flashback.
Yeah, because it seems like they're trying to keep a constant 17-minute flow for this season. So maybe they just couldn't fit it in this episode for what they wanted to tell. Maybe that's the one takeaway I'm doing, and they saved it for another episode or something like that. But something's got to be said. Now
we had to.
Yeah, this is another little Arcos moment, which is still like.
It's still there.
Yeah,
I miss her so much.
Yeah, it's still tugging at people's heartstrings. Like, I think I said this in another video, but like, I've never been one of the people to still be traumatized by Volume 3. Like, I've moved on. I do miss Pyrrha. I really did like her as a character. That's why when you first started watching RWBY and you said you really liked Pyrrha, I was like, oh. Maybe I should go ahead and tell her so she doesn't get completely heartbroken. But this was a nice little nod.
To me, this is because obviously we've seen John come so far.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you see some type of major development or him pushing himself, anything like that, she's always she's always there. Like the video of him training in the woods,
mm-hmm.
just replaying it. He kept pushing himself.
Yeah, and then
I really believe that he's doing this to continue for her, and himself, but she's a major motivation point for him. I'm gonna keep doing this. She, pretty much she started it.
Okay, so one slide we don't have that I do want to touch upon is I think it's funny how it's pretty much hinted that the only reason he cut his hair was because it was getting in the way.
Yeah, he kind of...
Yeah. But anyway, we noticed another thing that kind of pushes the idea that yes, they did use some metal from Yang's old arm to fix Gamble. This is a whole new arm.
And it's already yellow.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the metal's there. If you've noticed, there's a lot of different things that are colored with as far as metal goes. And when it gets hit, it's not... Paint doesn't chip off. So obviously, this is definitely... it's animated show. So it's not going to be something, I'm a mechanic, so... paint chipping off. There is no colored metals. So this is definitely different than reality. So you really have to think a little outside of that box there.
Yeah, and it kind of like this is a quick scene. It happens really really fast, but it's not simply Yang putting a gauntlet on her prosthetic.
No, it's attached.
Yeah, like it's a whole new arm, and you can look at the details like past the gauntlet. It is definitely not the same arm. This is not her arm that she had in Volume 6 that got damaged. This is...
The only thing that's the same is slightly the upper arm piece, the ball at the elbow, and from the wrist down.
Yeah.
That is the only things that are the same. Maybe slightly the black base that's under all the yellow pieces. It's obviously modified, but it's similar. But everything on top of that is different and completely remade. So this is entirely, almost a new arm. The hand, obviously, there's not much to it. She doesn't really do much with that.
Yeah,
it's just
it's definitely
pieces.
Like it's definitely not the same arm. Like it's like, and a lot of people thought that she was just going to slide a gauntlet onto it, but no, Pietro hooked her up with a whole new arm, and it just drives further home that her old arm was used to fix Gamble.
And looking at this now, I realize that her gloves need to be longer when I do that outfit.
Now, here, like once again, here's more, Blake running her hand through her hair, signifying that yes, she's gonna cut it. Really, something that should have happened on screen, though. Like, I
really hope we get a flashback for this too.
Because there's people who are saying, "Oh, the symbolism is what matters. We don't have to see it." But here's the thing, though. There are already people thinking that she just cut her hair to look like her mom. Okay? Because the way people interpret things differently in this show, like, I'm all for having different theories, but when it's so wrong that it's sad, because we already know from Aaron that, yes, it is a fresh start. She compared it to Cora cutting her hair in Book 4. So that's what it is. It's like, if you watch that scene in Book 4 of Legend of Korra, if Korra goes from her 3 wolf tails to all of a sudden a new scene having short hair, it's so drastic of a change that it's like, what the heck happened? Why'd she cut her hair? Now a lot of people, of course, if you know Korra's story, yes, it's kind of like a starting over, a fresh start. Same way here with Blake. But think of watching Mulan and them skipping the haircutting scene.
You couldn't do it. It was a drastic thing that needed to be seen. So, I mean, this, like I said, we understand both things. Timing may be another factor, so I really hope we get a flashback to something, which they tend to do a lot. So I'm kind of hoping we do get that.
Well, the description for Chapter 4 seems to be like there may be some downtime in that one. So this may, because there was rumors I don't know if it was rumors. I think one of the writers actually confirmed that one episode, this volume, is going to be a Tales of Ba Sing Se style episode, like an Avatar: The Last Airbender, which had a lot of character development, relationship building in it.
Which you need that in every season. At least somewhere. But another thing, her ears. Okay, well, even since the trailer and stuff came out in the clips, I've, obviously, since we cosplay, I've been dissecting everything that I can find. And, her ears, if you've noticed how fluffy her hair is when it's long, her ears were smaller, but also, think about it. Think about a real cat, too. As they grow, even a dog, when they grow, their ears grow. I mean, Luna's got these giant ears on her head still.
And the reason why we're bringing this up is because people have been asking, once she cuts her hair, did Blake's ears get bigger?
They're just more noticed. Her hair hides a lot of her ears. And think of her mom. Her mom's got really big ears.
Yeah, compared to her.
Yes, and so her ears, that's why I sat and compared to make mine. That's why I was like, well, your ears look a little big. No, her ears are that big. That's where they sit on her head. And now that her hair's short, you can kind of see it more. You can also see that the edges of her ears have little fluffs on them slightly.
Yeah, so like I said, my biggest criticisms is we don't see Gamble being fixed, because, it was obviously meant to be a kind of a big deal since they hit it, and we don't get to see the hair cutting. But, like I said, timing could have been the thing. Maybe it'll be addressed in a future episode, hopefully Chapter 4, since it does seem like we're kind of going into more of a downtime like thing. Like they're going to like we'll talk about toward the end of the video, but the rest of the episode makes it up for it.
Yeah.
So here we get the big reveal of everybody's new outfits. It's not plot important at all. It's not important at all. But I really wished we knew why Ruby decided to style her hair all of a sudden, and like why Weiss decided to have
she needs that many belts,
or this humongous braid. Though I have to admit, now that I've seen it like actually in the show, I love Weiss's new outfit. She looks like the queen everybody says she is. And like look at her pose that she already has. Like she knows she's the queen.
Yeah. And I've actually, for any cosplayers watching that want help with this wig, I think I found a way to make that braid lighter.
And
you can contact me for that.
I gotta say, the new hairstyle kind of makes me want to do a male version of Ruby. Because I really like her hair. I love Ruby's new hairstyle. I don't know why. I guess it's because it's typical shonen anime protagonist style. Blake looks great. I don't care what anyone says. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Yang's new outfit, but I love it. I love the bomber jacket. I love the steampunk mechanic look. It just fits Yang.
I also, when rewatching this and getting the screenshots, I've actually noticed the moment she pushes her sleeves up and snaps them. Like, there's actually a moment you do see those black snap buckles, and which makes things slightly easier, but that way, she obviously still has a jacket, but that fits up over her arm, which makes cosplay a little interesting.
Yeah, this is what happens every time a cosplayer watches anime or any show that they cosplay from. Like
the details you notice.
Yeah, she notices these little details.
But it also helps us find shots that we really, hey, we need to talk about that.
Okay, so a few things I want to talk about before I get to the actual focus of this image. I loved the jumping out of the airplane scene, or airship scene, because, yeah, like everybody says, oh, they actually have landing strategies now. I want to point out something, because there was still some people complaining about it, especially when the trailer came out, was how straight Blake's hair looked in this part, because everybody said, since she's got short hair, she should have more of a floof, instead of it being paper thin. She's flying through the air. No matter how much of a poof your hair has, if you're flying through the air, your hair is going to straighten out. I just want to point that out.
Well, and as a hairstylist, everybody's hair lays different.
Yeah. But anyway, here they showcase, that Gamble is indeed fixed, and it has the yellow fix.
And this isn't zoomed in. This was the screen.
Yes, this was the screenshot. So
I didn't zoom in. This is exact.
Some have said it was way too subtle unless you pause. I mean, they did a really good job of focusing it. Hey, look at this.
I didn't have to stop it several times to get this moment. Like, it lasts for a few seconds. Now, to get it folded up with that, yeah, it took a while. But this, no.
Now, I saw some things on Reddit. People were posting things from Reddit that kind of made me mad. There are still people pushing I can't pronounce it. It's Kinitsi. I cannot pronounce it.
It's that Japanese technique where you use gold to fix and mend things.
Yes.
Make it stronger.
Okay, for one thing, RWBY has not confirmed that. It's a fan theory. Stop going around and posting it as fact. We do not know that yet. But if you're paying attention to the story they are telling with Blake and Yang, especially when it comes to Adam, and if you have read the other materials that go more deeper into that, this is not gold yellow. Gold is not this brightly yellow. We don't even know if gold exists in Remnant.
Yeah, gold.
Because we've never seen it.
If you want to see a gold yellow, that'd be Jean. Jean's armor edges are gold, especially even go back to Pyrrha. That is gold. That is a yellow gold. This is yellow.
This is Yang yellow. Gamble Shroud
There's nothing else that color.
Yes. I mean, My new name for this weapon is Gamblebee. That's what I've called it since it was shown in the trailer.
Yeah, the only other thing we had that had this color yellow was, rest in peace, Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee.
Besides her weapons,
yeah,
Bumblebee had that yellow in it.
But guys, this is symbolism that I'm getting dry mouth. Yang fixed Blake. Yang fixed what Adam broke. That's been their whole story since the beginning. The moment Blake compared Yang to Adam in Volume 3, this is like the thing. Like Adam, her former partner, her former boyfriend, who mentally and physically abused her, who made her feel like that she was a burden to everybody, to Yang, her new partner, who is the exact opposite of Adam, who supports Blake, who tries to build up Blake, who was always there for Blake. Yes, they had that little falling out during volumes 4 through 6, but that is storytelling, guys. You have got to put heroes through a trial that challenges the bonds between them. That's the whole part of storytelling. It's the basic story of the hero. And this is the end result, that Yang has fixed what Adam broke. And now they have a fresh new start, which is further shown in a couple of scenes, in a specific scene that is coming up. So here we get John, Ren, and Nora's new outfits. Team Junior, I guess, when it's just the three of them, I'm guessing. Even though that was the name they had with RWBY, but I mean, it still kind of fits, JNR. But, so a lot of people hated John's hair when it was first shown, but now that people have actually seen it, it looks good. R.I.P. the Pumpkin Pete's hoodie.
Yeah.
There's a big joke going around. We don't have it here, but when he was paragliding down with his shield with the light dust upgrade, a lot of people were making jokes about how he's pretty much Link from Breath of the Wild because of the parasailer. I appreciate that. I appreciate that joke.
A lot of people keep also realizing, with this new outfit, the legs.
My stomach just growled if you heard it.
But everyone's talking about, now that he doesn't have the baggy clothes on, he's got quite long legs.
Yeah.
But he, it makes him look older. Like, mm-hmm. And to me, that adds to his development. Yeah. They're getting older. They're maturing.
Yeah, Ren, is still going with the ninja look. I do like the sleeve that he's got, and also I think you can see it a little bit in this. He does have his father's dagger on his arm, which is a really good sentimental thing.
I think you can see that in the later picture.
Yeah, you can. He has this really good braid, which if the merch is pointing to anything that they still haven't released for Ren and Nora, it might have been Nora who done the braid.
Probably was.
And Nora, I love Nora. She's just like, any scene Nora is in, I love. And of course, everybody's saying that she's wearing the trans colors, which, I mean, it is the trans colors. It is, but we don't know yet if that is any kind of statement that RWBY is making just yet. We don't know yet.
Love the outfit of hers, though. Like, yeah. I really do. It's definitely...
Some people have been saying they got rid of the boob window because she's had it for for like two outfits straight.
And I always loved her fluffy skirts. Like, that's one reason why I want to do the last
Well, now she
set.
can quit flashing everybody.
Yeah.
That's another running joke in the fandom. Okay, we have got to talk about this. We're going to talk about the controversy later. But we get to see Qrow's new outfit, which looks really good. I like it. We noticed that the pattern on the sleeves actually matches not only Ozpin's cane, but it's either the holster or the actual gun that Ironwood has. So there's a little connection there.
But the one thing I did notice on details as well, connected onto that, is the little leaves, like the bigger leaves that are on the ends of those little swirls, reflects his own symbol. Mm-hmm. Because we've all seen, obviously Yang drew her mother's symbol, which is identical, being a twin. So it has that same shape, just slightly different, and it more looks like feathers. And I noticed that. So it's kind of a mixture of the two. I'm wondering if all of them have some type of swirl design like that, and some of them tie that into their symbols too. So I think there's that.
I will say I am also really, really, really enjoying Sober Qrow. Like he's almost like a different person, really, and that which I am going to point out when we get to a certain part about the crybabies in the HAVENT. Okay, so we get these fancy new scrolls that when they're compacted, they look like a Joy-Con.
I just found the last scrolls. Now I have to make these ones.
But yeah, when they're compacted, they look exactly like a Joy-Con on a Nintendo Switch, which people have been making a joke about. Even David posted a picture of himself with one of his Joy-Con and said, "Hey, I got the new scroll fresh from Atlas."
Yeah, the one thing I did notice with this scene is also but Yang is front and center.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely, of course.
The one thing I did notice was, if you've noticed, it shows their aura.
Yes, because
only two of them used their...
Well, actually, I think I saw in Cal and Hunter's analysis that it actually shows that Yang's aura is a little bit. So she must use
a little bit, but the other two of the ones that used it more.
Yeah. And, of course, Blake, in another screen, is the only one who has full aura because she didn't use her semblance. She
doesn't use it until later on.
Well, yeah, but, like, when they were falling, she just dove. Which I still love that out of all of them, like, Blake used gambles to swing down and all that. Yang just fell until she just fell until she got close enough to the ground, used one shot, slowed herself down. But yes, the moment she pulls out it's another, what do they call it? Cal used it. Show don't tell. The first person that pops up when she opens her scroll is Yang. I mean, it's, people need to learn how to read subtext better. Go back to English class, please. So this was like the really first real good close-up we got of Blake's new outfit plus her hair.
It lays a lot different than other people thought it would.
Yeah. I like the cat suit. Aaron made a joke about, like, I don't know if it was Aaron who made the joke or someone made the joke during her live reaction that Blake finally has boobs.
It was Aaron. She did say something. They've always been there. It's just...
It's a cat suit, people.
Defined.
Yeah.
And that's... she did touch on that, too. She goes, maybe it's just the cat suit. It all fits tight. Yes. Yeah. That's going to make anything noticeable.
Her ear does a cute little twitch and makes a cute little squeak sound. And so the question is, did she just notice... Like, because, she is a cat faunus, and cats are very... they do notice things. Like, even if your cat is... got its back to you and you're staring intently at your cat, they'll eventually turn around
and look at you
and be like, "What are you looking at?" So is it just that she just noticed? Is she just so in tune with Yang that she knew Yang was looking, or did Yang make some have said, did Yang make a quiet little sigh while looking at Blake and Blake picked up on it? We just didn't. That's the three theories I've seen. But yeah, Blake does catch Yang. This is a little out of order.
It was a little out of order, but that's just how it ended up saving.
Well, since we're here, I do want to rant a little bit about some little boys in the fandom.
Don't argue with an artist. Let me just put that out there.
Well, that, and they're just making themselves look like idiots because they're pushing their own bias against this ship to make themselves look like fools because they're pretty much ignoring common sense in a way. Okay, so Yang makes a comment about Blake's hair. Blake gets embarrassed, blushes, and asks her if it's bad. Okay, so for one, that's one heck of a flirty smirk. She is like giving Yang such bedroom eyes here that it's like, gosh, just get a room at this moment. She does have blush lines drawn onto her cheeks. And if you have ever watched cartoons, if you have ever watched anime, and if you have ever watched a character get embarrassed or get bashful around the person or character, I mean, that they have a crush on or have feelings for, they turn red. They turn red, and they have the blush lines drawn on their cheeks.
Blush line, and that's what I'm meaning is don't argue with an artist. Like, if you're trying to put a blush and not just color to a face, you add the lines.
And someone actually darkened this image, and the lines were way more pronounced. So yes, this is a blush. Okay, this is okay. So my main rant is on people who are saying, "Oh, Blake blushed because she was cold." Yuck.
You don't blush when you're cold, and that's it doesn't work that way. It doesn't happen that fast.
Yeah, let me go through this. Okay. A blush and being flushed red from the cold is two different things. You have to be out in the cold for a good while before you start turning red. They've literally been standing here for a couple of seconds. Also, when you get flushed from the cold, it's not just your cheeks, your nose, your forehead. Your entire face becomes red, okay?
Her hands would be red too.
Also, when you're flushed from the cold, it doesn't go away seconds later, okay? You get redder. If she was flushed from the cold, Blake would have been as red as an apple by the time this scene was over with, okay?
But and the lines wouldn't be there.
Yes, the lines would not be there. Also, not even 2 minutes later, Weiss states that aura keeps you warm. Really, if you're doubting Bumblebee at this moment with them openly flirting with each other to the point where Yang has a gay panic when Blake asks her is her haircut is bad, and Yang's reaction is to panically say, no, it's good. Great even. I'm sorry. You're a lost cause. Just admit it that you hate Bumblebee and that you're a little homophobic at that point.
Move on.
Yes, and move on with your life.
And
okay?
Speaking of those gay panic, I caught every moment.
Yes.
Which we'll go through. Like, this is the initial when she got caught.
Yes. Now, before you continue, I want to point out a few things. If you zoom in on this, Yang is looking at her with like a dreamy look on her face. She is checking Blake out, guys. I'm sorry. And look at the freaking footprints.
She came around her.
Yes, she was beside Blake when they landed. She purposely walked around to be in front of Blake and stopped and started looking at her. I kind of hope this is a running gag for the rest of the volume, that she's just continuously getting caught by Blake staring at her. Because it's cute. It's cute as heck. Then she's like...
Then she starts looking everywhere but. She looks...
It's almost like... Is she looking at... oh, crap. Oh, shit. I'm caught. And
then she looks the other way. Like, yeah, she goes, uh-oh.
Yeah. It's just like... Then... she realizes, oh, boy, I've been caught red-handed. Then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the snow. No, wait, no.
Then there's this.
Yes. Checking your nails on your prosthetic arm where you don't have any nails. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's an oh shit,
it's
I'm
like,
caught.
Yeah, what are you looking at? There's nothing there. Like,
and even the look on her face. Like, look at her. She's just like, oh, I was looking at... it's the hair. It was just the hair I was looking at. And then you have this cute little... And yes, I'm going to steal from Cal again. This Sora Kingdom Hearts, like... pose, the hands behind the head.
Yes.
Like, Yang is so trying to save herself here. And the thing is, like, it's funny. Yang was able to easily flirt with Blake during burning the candle. And so, I forgot the name. I'm sorry if you're subscribed. I do not remember the Twitter name. But someone did art of this. And, like, it had Yang remembering her flirting. And she was like... It was so easy. When did this get hard? But it's once again, this is interactions that they don't have with other characters. Blake and Yang have always had more intimate interactions with each other that they've not had. Now, of course, we're going to hear, oh, but what about Blake and Sun? Blake and Sun never had interactions like this. Blake blushed that one time, and that was it. People keep on saying, oh, they shit baited for volumes 4 and 5. Nothing happened in 4 and 5. By the time 4 and 5 happened, there was nothing romantic there anymore between Blake and Sun. It just I just don't get people who say that there was romantic stuff in volume 4 and 5 between Blake and Sun when there wasn't. Blake and Sun never held hands. They never hugged intimately. Blake never put her head against Sun's head. Even when she blushed at Sun in volume 3, she didn't look at him like the way she looked at Yang. Like, seriously.
She's also smacked the crap out of Sun. So,
Yeah.
That and another thing with this just screams like Barb.
Yeah, it does, because
She has said.
Barbara has said in a tweet that she is a horrible flirt. I think we touched upon this in our video, but her exact words were, "I'm a terrible flirt. I'm like, hey, nice shirt. It looks good on your body." Which
This goes back
to, I like your bow. It goes great with your pajamas. So yes, that kind of confirms that yes, Yang was flirting with Blake at that time. And it's been confirmed that when Monty was writing these characters, he based some of the personalities of the voice actresses for the characters. And seems like Barbara being a terrible flirt has
influenced.
Is one of the things that is being influenced for Yang.
I also wonder just how many times has Yang pretty much sat there and stared at her and not gotten caught until now.
Well, I mean, it's back in volume 1 when they were in that forest collecting tree sap, and Blake's sitting there completely ignoring her assignment, and she's looking at Yang. I mean, it's just, both of them's guilty of it, really, at some point in the series. So
okay, we had to touch on this.
Well, mostly you. I still, like, I love dogs, I do, but I still don't get people's love from Arrow. I'm more of a Harriet person. I love Harriet. But anyway, Marrow and Harriet are watching Blake and Yang's interaction. And Harriet even softly smiles at them. So, I mean, Harriet already knows.
Sees it.
It kind of also helps that both Harriet's voice actress and Marrow's voice actor support Bumblebee. So, it's kind of funny. And Marrow's like, oh, I didn't sign up to be a babysitter. And we learned by what the official RWBY Twitter posted that Marrow was actually the rookie member of the Ace Ops. He's the newest member. And Harriet's like, shut up. We've got to...
we babysit you all the time.
I love these two. You love them.
That, and then we got this. Okay. This, to me, since, our husky pouts. Maybe, obviously not with a face, but she pouts, and she lets you know it. She huffs at you. Okay, this is just the classic pouty puppy face.
Yeah, he has very strong doggo feelings. I mean, it's been confirmed his weapon's name is Fetch.
Which I did get a...
he literally plays Fetch with himself.
Yes, and, but, yeah, I just saw this and I'm just thinking, okay, Luna does this. Like, the one thing I like is he'll never be able to hide anything.
No.
Like, his tail will tell it for him. And there's no way, obviously we saw that. He had to stop his own tail from wagging.
Yeah, he's
so
like...
it's one reason I actually do really like him.
They're definitely pushing him as like the tsundere type character. It's not that I care about you or anything,
Lies.
Yeah. We get a better look at their outfits, and this is also where they had to address why they're not freezing to death, and which we kind of already knew that aura would probably keep you warm.
Yeah.
But Weiss does state that aura does keep you warm. So once again, but this is also the scene where they touch upon RWBY lying to Ironwood, which I'm glad they did. People were hoping that they would, and I mean, why wouldn't they? RWBY gives her reasons, which are good reasons. Ironwood's plan is in the right... His heart is in the right place. It really is. But the man is so unhinged. And, yeah, it's probably going to bite them in the butt. And it's probably going to get bad. But if RWBY had told him already, things were going to get bad from the start. We wouldn't have a story. We wouldn't have a volume. Things would just have, just went into madness in a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
We need that built tension. That's what they're doing. They're building on that tension of when is Ironwood going to find out? What's going to be the fallout from it? So I mean, people complaining why Ruby lied. I mean, you got to remember there's still a story to be told here, And I like it that Yang kind of had a problem with it because, half lies and half truths that she talked about six. And people have brought up that she's still keeping Raven being the Spring Maiden a secret to herself. But here's the thing. That's a personal matter. That's her mother, okay? Yes, it's the mother who's...
Not there.
Yeah, not there, who's abandoned her and all that. But still, that is her mother, okay? As of right now, it's not really information that needs to be told about. In the future, yeah. But let Yang keep some things to herself because, like I said, yes, Ruby is her sister, but Raven isn't Ruby's mom. So that's a personal thing, okay? But the thing is, even though Yang kind of was bothered by the fact that Ruby lied, she still agreed with Weiss and Blake that I love what Weiss said, but Blake is like, let's not fully trust him yet. And Blake and
we need to see how things are going before we can do anything.
And I love what Weiss says. Let's play along until we know for sure. I love that about Weiss. I absolutely
queen.
Yeah, like Yang will always be my favorite character, and Blake is my second. But gosh, like ever since Volume 4, I've been falling in love with Weiss. It's like she has definitely had some of the most biggest character developments ever. Now, since we've got everyone on the screen here, somewhat like the same people who are saying Blake was blushing because of the cold, they're like, well, look, all their faces are red from the cold.
This is completely different now.
Yes, it's a lighter
red. This goes up over the nose.
This is face detail. It's not blushing.
This is, yeah.
And so Yang asked the question everybody else has been wondering, what did Oscar think? And we see that. We don't get a lot of it. It's obvious that he does kind of have a problem with it, but we don't see the outcome of it.
Yeah.
Which Oscar, I guess, kind of does have a reason to be upset. He is the next Ozpin, so I mean, people have made the argument that he should be the one making the decision, but here's the thing. Oscar's never been really okay with being the next Ozpin.
No, he hasn't. He's kind of, but also Oz isn't there right now.
Yeah, and it's almost like, is he just finally accepting his fate, stuff like that? We don't know. But
I don't think, but the things that he says, because she gives him, the lamp, saying, making a joke, she shouldn't be carrying it around like a keychain.
Yeah.
So
she trusts Oscar enough to still not tell Ironwood that there's a question left.
Yeah, and the thing is like, because he says, doesn't this seem like what Ozpin's done to us?
Yeah.
And so he's questioning it. Obviously, questioning. He's not happy with knowing now that, okay, well, because obviously Oz is in his head, he kept these things. I mean, I see there's probably reason why Ozpin kept certain things, but he needed to get in more. He needed to get out more of that, not keep everything a secret.
I don't think Ozpin's necessarily a bad guy.
I don't either. I really did like Ozpin when I first saw him, so I can't hate him, but I wish he wouldn't have hidden so many things, because, I mean, they needed the insight to build off of, because they got to figure this out somehow. They can't just go in and think, okay, well, that didn't work.
But it also fits on who Ozpin is based off of. He is based off the Wizard of Oz, and the Wizard was a liar. He kept a lot of secrets. He was somebody that he claimed he was somebody that he wasn't in a lot of ways. So I mean, it's little parallels to their original source material there. I do definitely think he should have at least told them that Salem couldn't be killed. But his personal stuff, like him having a relationship with Salem and all that, is his personal business to keep to himself.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, just having all your dirty laundry told like that, and you can't do nothing about it to stop it. Yeah, no wonder the guy sealed himself away. But we did learn at the beginning of Volume 6 that when they do need him, he will come back.
Yeah.
But it's just, what's going to happen, because Oscar's training, like, it's pretty much assumed that he's going to be training with Ironwood to bring Osmond back, and, like, like, is Oscar going to betray them and tell him the truth? Like, is he going?
I kind of hope not.
Because it's kind of building to the point where Oscar is going to start liking Ironwood and, like, sympathizing with him and all that. So, I don't know. Like, I do not think things are going to go bad in this volume. I think they're going to say that for Volume 8, like the Fall of Atlas and all that, which we all know is going to happen. So who knows? We might not see it this volume. It might just be a complete build-up in Volume 8, but we'll see. Okay, so people are hating on Ren for this. Nora kind of flirts with Ren, telling him that she likes what he did with his outfit, and Ren says that they should focus on the mission, but he doesn't say it mean. It's kind of like he's embarrassed in a way, because he's like, maybe we should focus on the mission, which he's right, they should. They're in a dust mine that's grim infested. Not everybody can be like Blake and Yang and get distracted by each other and flirt on a mission and come out okay. So, I do not blame Ren for this. Do I understand Renora shippers being hungry for content? Yes, because really, besides Volume 4, when they became canon pretty much, not a lot besides maybe a couple of moments in Volume 5 happened. And then Volume 6, you had them in the opening. You had a couple of cute moments of them looking at each other in that as well. And then you had, Nora's, get back here with my man, and stuff like that. So, I mean, but they've not really gotten really any development romantic-wise in the last few volumes. There is the rumor that we may learn Nora's backstory. There's got to be some Ren and Nora moments in this volume, just because they did make new merch for it.
Yeah.
And if we do get that Tales of Ba Sing Se like story, I do at some point. I'll get into that at the end of the video, because I don't want to start talking about chapter 4 right away. And poor Sean, he gives Nora a compliment, and like she just
huffs.
Yeah, she like huffs and completely blows him off, and this poor Sean, like it's the typical oblivious third wheel in a way, and like it's just he's a good boy, and I don't think we have a slide for it, but it was the parts where we kind of learned what Ren and Nora's upgrades are. Like Nora's, we still don't 100% know. Like it seems like it was glowing when she was using it, but I don't think we've really seen it unless we just missed it. Ren's has pretty much like grappling hooks now.
Yeah.
Like grappling lines. But I do like it that she kind of gets back at Ren blowing her off later in the episode by pushing him down the slope. That's why Ren has this very awkward but scared scream later.
Yeah.
So Team RWBY goes into the mine. Our first time really seeing the dust mines now. And we see some rubble, and Blake mentions, this is where it happened. And, of course, Yang, being the love interest that she is, asked if she's okay. And it's very hinted that this is where Ilya's parents were killed. Because we do know Ilya's parents were killed in a dust mine explosion. Now, some people have criticized, why didn't she say Ilya's name? Some of them said that she should have said Ilya's name, and then Yang would have been like, I'll admit, it was Cal who said this, but she was like, kind of like a jealousy thing, like, who the hell's Ilya, But I don't think we need a jealousy story. We really don't need that right now.
For all we know, that Yang could have met Ilya at the train station.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely knows who Ilya is.
Yeah.
So, I don't think she knows that Ilya once had a crush on Blake, but,
that we know of anyways.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't think it really matters anymore, because it was one-sided. And I think it's still one-sided, but I think Ilya needs to be more than just a one-sided crush character and be her own character. Also, even though she apologized and became a good guy and all that, she did still try to kill Blake's parents, so that kind of, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I really don't think it's a big deal that she didn't say Ilya's name, because Ilya's not there. We don't even know if she's we don't even know when Ilya is going to be involved in the story again, if ever, because she is helping Blake's parents with the new White Fang. So I mean, I'm sure Ilya will return at some point. But yeah, there was really no point for her to even bring Ilya up to anyone else because she's not there. Um, Now I do love this thing because once again it is showing that Yang is concerned for Blake because they both look at a SDC um, uh, canister or whatever, and it's either them both um, thinking of what the SDC has done to the Faunus, or it's them remembering Adam and the brand on his face, or it could be both. One thing that we don't have in the clips that I really did like was a little exchange between Weiss and Blake about how Weiss states how her father was more mad about the damage to the mine than the people that were killed, and how sorry she is that she was kind of just complacent in it, which is a really big callback to Volume 1 when the whole fight between Weiss and Blake happened. It pretty much just shows how much Weiss has grown as a character. Um, but I love that if they are thinking about Adam, of course Blake is going to be more bothered by it than Yang because of her history with Adam. I mean, yeah, he was an abuser. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm not sad that he's gone, but it is different. Like, I don't know. We'll get to that in our more personal Bumblebee video when it comes to you. Like, but Yang is kind of indifferent. She just gives a whole, huh. She just huffs and walks away. Because, of course, it would not bother Yang as much. Because to her, Adam is the douchebag who cut her arm off, who tried to kill Blake a good number of times.
And probably knowing what she does now that Blake went through before they met. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's the dude that abused the girl that she's falling in love with. And, of course, Yang's not going to care that much about Adam, you know? So, I mean, yeah, the fact that you killed someone will bother you, but it's the whole context of the whole thing. And, like, they've still not touched upon it, so I think we'll get a better understanding when they do. But, yeah, Yang is never going to be as bothered killing Adam as Blake. And it's not because she's heartless. It's not because she's a cold-blooded murderer. After what Adam did to her and Blake, of course she's not going to be as bothered by it. Now we get to a little bit of the upgrades. Out of all the upgrades, I loved Yang's. I love the fact that she can punch a Grim and put a bomb, plant a bomb pretty much on it, and it explode. And these new Grim were really, really cool. This was like one of my favorite introductions to a new Grim. I loved Yang's whole. That's gross. That is
disgusting.
Yeah, that is disgusting. That was awesome. But I loved this upgrade. This is the best we could do for Ruby's, and pretty much her Crescent Rose now swivels the blade pretty much.
She can switch it.
I love the cocky little smirk Ruby gave before she
pretty much.
I love this Ruby. She has such, like, I don't know. But that was her upgrade. We didn't see if Weiss has an upgrade yet.
We didn't see much.
Yeah, she didn't really do anything different. So far as we know, Gamble just got fixed. We don't know if it has any kind of upgrade. But this was a nice little fight for Team RWBY against some Grim. And then, of course, we have Team Juniper, Junior, whatever you want to call them, with Elm and Vine. Now, I'm also going to steal one of Cal's ideas, because I agree with her. Vine and Elm may be in a romantic relationship. Now, of course, we didn't really see any, they're obviously partners, just like Marrow and Harriet is, and they could have been partners back at Atlas Academy, for all we know. It's not really, and they probably aren't romantically involved, but Elm and Vine, it's funny because they seem to, kind of like Blake and Yang and
They're
Ren.
in sync.
Yeah, kind of like Blake and Yang and Ren and Nora. They're very in sync. Well, I don't know. There's still some instances where Ren and Nora are not exactly in sync, but it's mostly because of Nora's impulsiveness.
And he learns to just go with it.
Yeah, he kind of learns just to go with it. But they are very in sync with each other, and they kind of parallel Nora and Ren. Vine being the more calm-minded partner, and Elm being the hammer-wielding strong woman. It is kind of funny that they kind of are parallel to them in a way already.
It is kind of pointing like that maybe that it just they ended up being partnered to go with them, like let them see.
Yeah, and when they
how they work together.
Yeah, and when they jump off the airship, Nora looks back at them even after they're gone, like she's thinking almost. But I mean, who knows? It just does seem kind of like that those two are kind of parallel.
It'd be a good example for them to see,
Yeah.
working together as well as anything that would be romantically there.
Yeah,
it would,
especially when you're two very different personality.
Which ties into the moment where he says, "Let's focus on it." Well, they could see how they incorporate everything.
Yeah, because Vine comes off as kind of no nonsense in a way. So here we learn Harriet's semblance is, of course, speed, which we kind of figured because she is based off the hair from Tortoise and the Hare.
The competitiveness said that too.
Yeah, her weapon apparently is these I guess it's fists that because I think she's definitely a kind of a brawler like Yang. But her semblance is speed, kind of like Ruby's, and this is, Ruby is fangirling that Harriet's semblance is speed, just like hers, though, of course, Harriet says, I think I'm just a little bit faster. Now, of course, her semblance would be speed because she's based off the Tortoise and the Hare, but I got some really strong Flash vibes because of the lightning and all that, because a lot of people said Sonic, but Sonic doesn't really have lightning around him when he runs unless he's supersonic. I think.
I do see that too, but
it's definitely Flash
related.
Because there's just no way that you can't see some Flash references here. But I love this part with Ruby. I am falling in love with her new outfit, even though she's really had the least amount of changes. But I love her hair. I love her new hairstyle.
I've noticed now. Every one of Team RWBY has one of those little pouches that all look identical, just different colors and different symbols.
Oh, yeah. And Ruby's pouch is definitely a puppy or a dog, which that's probably the only cameo from Zwei we're going to get this whole entire volume.
We need Zwei.
Yeah, we need
a Zwei. I don't care if it's just for a few minutes, but we need Zwei.
If any member of RWBY ever watches this, please
put Zwei in somewhere.
Yeah, well, bring Zwei back to Team RWBY. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh boy. So I was very surprised this week that there's still small pockets, but as a whole, the people aren't bitching about Bumblebee anymore. They're bitching about Lucky Charms. Okay, so to the people who are screaming, "Oh, they made Qrow gay." Bisexuality exists. I'm engaged to a bisexual woman. Okay, it exists, people. Okay, so yes, Qrow is kind of an established character in the series, but we still have stuff about Qrow that we do not know. Because he's always gone. He's always had to be alone. Yes, he's talked about women in the past. And
stories even.
Yes, but you also have to remember, for most of the series, Qrow has been an alcoholic. And he's coming off that. People who are alcoholics are way different people than who they really are when they are on the drink.
I have to say, just in addition, I was waiting for him to come back up on screen, is towards the end of Volume 6, I think it was a real realization for him. Especially the things that Ruby said, she stood up to him. That's her favorite uncle. I mean...
Well, it's her only uncle.
That we know of. But
that we know of. Unless Summer had me,
I do think it was a realization for him, and that's, I really like seeing Qrow's development.
A lot of people complain that Qrow didn't do much in Volume 6, but it was really a character growth season for him. But here's the thing. Throwing shipping out of the way, this is a major character moment for Qrow because his whole life he's had to stay away mostly from his loved ones, pretty much be a lone wolf because of his semblance. Now he's met a character where if Clover is telling the truth, is a semblance that will balance his out. So he doesn't have to part ways with, until he's no longer around Clover. But this is a guy that if he partnered with, everybody would be safe. He could be around his family. He could have a meaningful relationship. This is something his character has never experienced.
Which would also mirror the look that you see currently on the screen. Like, he's
real, yeah.
He's shocked. Like,
yeah.
He's like, wait,
Like, out of all the people for him to be paired with right now, it's a guy whose semblance is to bring good fortune. Now, a lot of people have already built up theories that Clover may be lying. It may be a placebo effect, where if he tells Qrow this, Qrow will quit focusing on his semblance being so negative. I don't know. Like, the story that he is based off of, the whole Lucky Fisherman, and all, like, his symbol being a four-leaf clover, his name being Clover, him carrying a rabbit's foot, him carrying around a horseshoe. I'm pretty sure he's telling the truth that his semblance is good fortune, which this is going to make him a great foil. He's pretty much a foil to Qrow. Now, Qrow's sexuality aside, I think it's very much so that Clover may be either bisexual or gay, because he does flirt with Qrow.
His also body language.
Yeah, he has some severe body language. But hey, if Qrow turns out to be bisexual,
so?
That's just a trait we were never told until now. It doesn't mean they changed his character. Get what storytelling is, kids. Quit crying. I love this Geist Grim just because it's a complete danger, because it's dust crystals. And they state when they enter this area that
highly reactive
dust. Yeah, so they can't really use.
At first, he was just ice. And
we skipped the jump scare.
Yeah, well,
she jumped so hard.
I'm not the only one, apparently.
Yeah.
But, it's because RWBY had pointed out, it embedded dust into its body. Like, it obviously didn't have it before. So, now we've got this highly reactive, Geist Grim
plus
in
area.
A highly reactive area.
So, yeah, RWBY even asks, how do we? And that's when we see the Ace Ops in action. And
this is something that Team RWBY really needed to see. Like, yes. If you actually go around when you watch and you see the look on their faces as they're watching them all move around together, I mean, it's something they needed to see. Kind of like what I said before, they're at the beginning of the, being hunters and huntresses. Officially. Now they're seeing that gap of how to advance.
Yes. And a lot of people are saying, oh, Team RWBY showed up. No, this was something that they really needed to see. It's a character development thing. And I like that. Okay, so we learned a few things. I mean, I so laughed in our reaction that Clover's weapon is a fishing pole.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so amazing. But, their reaction to him fishing the Geist out of the dust crystals was cool. Elm, we learned what her semblance is.
She literally roots to the ground.
Yes, which, go. I know in our reaction I had said something about how her being based off the tree Yggdrasil is, but it turns out that's the ship name for her and Nora, because they would both be based off Norse mythology and all that. But her and Vine are apparently both based off a story in Ace. I never read all the Aesop fables. I think it was
I used to have a book that had everyone in it. I don't remember.
But apparently Vine and her are based off the same story, which is also why Cal made the connection that they may be romantically involved.
Which would make a lot of sense, though.
And Vine's semblance is to be Stretch Armstrong, pretty much. Which is kind of cool because it kind of goes with her semblance. It kind of shows, and it does show in the show how in sync those two are.
The roots and then the branch and vine.
Yes, definitely.
It definitely fits so much.
Yes,
so.
Vine is the branches and vines where she is the root.
And very monk-like. That's another thing I want to touch on real quick is, we talked about this in the car the other day, is because I know when we first saw the Aesops, that and with the opening and all that, wondering, okay, well, who's going to turn? Well, now, at first I wasn't sure about him, but having a monk-like nature, he wouldn't Like, he wouldn't want that bad stuff to turn around and come on and come and happen. Like, it's starting to unfold about them. I really think, in my opinion, the Ace Ops, like, that whole little screen on Watt's computer, they're a threat to him. A huge threat to him because of the abilities they have, their status where they stand. I think they're just a huge threat.
And people have already said that they're all probably going to die by the end of this arc. We also see Harriet, of course, her semblance being Speed. Then we see Marrow. And everybody is having fun with this. He literally, to use his semblance, he pretty much freezes, but he says, "Stay."
Yes. I had that picture and I don't know what happened to it, but yeah, he just goes, "Stay."
And they freeze, which is a really cool semblance.
I like that.
It's like, wow, they are really building on the doggo stuff here.
And that's another reason I really like him. I mean,
technically he's probably a wolf because he is based on...
The tail is more wolf-shaped, but...
He is obviously based on The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Now, the thing about Clover, and I was talking about turning, you said you read The Lucky Fisherman back in the day.
Yes, there's 2 stories that he could have been based off of, and he is based off of the one where it really leads that he wouldn't turn.
Yeah.
Like, it's been years since I've read them, but yes, it's... And then somebody on, I really wish I remember the name, but I did catch someone's screenshots on a post on my Instagram. And they had actually their own backstories of comparing to each story that each person could relate to, since some of them have multiple stories that they could relate to.
Like Blake and Yang being Beauty and the Beast.
And the one thing with the Ace Ops is they did touch on both stories, how Clover could go 2 different directions, and one of them would have been a little more likely that, okay, well, there's a chance he may turn here. No, he is based off the Lucky Fisherman, which in turn that actually cancels out that other side. So
didn't you say in that story the fisherman does have a morality decision, or did I just mishear you?
I think, like I said, it's been a long time, and I think we might have to do a video based off them, and maybe go to McKay's and try to find the book, because I know they probably got it.
Now, another thing, when the official RWBY Twitter released the whole thing about the Ace Ops, Elm, of course, said that she speaks her mind, so people are thinking, is she going to call out Blake and Yang for their flirting? But for...
That'd be funny, because can you imagine both their faces?
Yeah.
Like,
now, for Clover, it says he is 100% dedicated to Atlas. So that might be where the conflict comes. If Team RWBY tries to do something that could hurt Atlas, then the Ace Ops are going to oppose them. I do see at some point them opposing them in some way, especially if Team RWBY and Juniper decide to do something that Ironwood doesn't want them to do. Now, will they become evil? Probably not.
I don't think so.
But will they?
Not anymore.
But will they eventually get in Team RWBY's way? I think it's a very high possibility.
It's possible, yes.
And this is just more of,
seeing the teams work together.
Now, RWBY does steal the show at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Because
even Harriet, like, her eyes, like, she's just like, whoa.
Yeah, she uses her semblance to, and this is a huge dust crystal that they need for the satellite. And
but also catching all of those...
They would have exploded.
They would have exploded, and they all would have been gone.
And Harriet makes the comment that she was like, I thought your semblance was Speed. And
yes.
RWBY was like, yeah. She was like, I've seen a lot of Speed.
Or like hers.
Yeah, she says, I've seen a lot of Speed semblances, and that was different.
Nothing like that. And
so, this kind of goes with the theory that the stronger you get, it's like semblances and aura. Yeah, like semblances and aura are kind of like muscles. The more you work them out, the stronger they get. And there has been talk in the past of semblances evolving. And I've always made jokes about, Yang being a Super Saiyan and how she could unlock, like, a Super Saiyan god-like part of her semblance where her hair goes red. Because, the
it already changes now. She's definitely gotten stronger.
Well, it's the whole, how hot a flame gets, the color changes.
Yes.
Like from, the standard yellow to, like, I'm kind of going Dragon Ball here and, like, coming up with Super Saiyan forms for Yang, but, like, the standard yellow to red to...
White.
Well,
Blue and white.
a blue flame, so she'd be Super Saiyan Blue, and then a white/silver flame for Ultra Instinct.
But it goes with it because the hotter a flame burns, the color changes.
I mean, I doubt though. I still think that they based her semblance off Super Saiyan. That's why I Burn does reference it, but who knows? But yeah, I just love that in the end, RWBY did steal the show. Now this was a cute little scene.
I tried to get the laugh, but it missed.
Yeah, Yang stayed, wait until they see what she does with her eyes, which is RWBY going to use her silver eyes at some point? This volume or maybe next, who knows? I do like, and Blake does give a little laugh, which is cute. It's kind of like, the only one who really laughs at Yang's jokes is Blake. It's just another cute little B moment, and Weiss looking at them, like, you two really need to just kiss already. Like, Weiss is the ultimate B-wing woman. She sees it. She really does, and it's like, who's gonna break first, her or Marrow? And just be like, I'm getting tired of this. But yeah, it was a cute little. Like, we don't really get to hear Blake laugh enough, so it was really cute that Yang made her laugh. And you wanted to touch on Clover's body language.
The body language here. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know I don't know a straight guy that's
and the
RWBY like that.
The official RWBY Twitter is pushing this ship.
Yeah, that too. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, just being around enough of my friends, I don't know how. I mean, I've stood like that, and
now they really took the best scene in the whole episode and relegated it to the background. Which, okay, so you've got Elm carrying RWBY around, and RWBY's like,
we won, we did it.
I can't tell if it's her or Nora who is chanting "We won," but either way, it's cute. Nora's doing her little dance. Yang does this really funny, like, arm pumping move.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, woo, 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 woo. And I made a joke on Twitter. It's like, I have a feeling Barbara had something to do with that.
I think so too.
Because it looks like something Barbara would
do that.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me think of that dancing video they did.
Mm-hmm.
Just some of the things that she does, like, yeah.
So I mean, hey, it's mission accomplished. The as of right now, the mine is clear of Grimm. Who knows how long that'll last. Now they've got this great dust supply for the satellite. Hey, let's go home, team, and celebrate. Everything's good, right? No. R.I.P. RWBY. That was actually really growing fast. But yeah, we see Forrest, the character who was pretty much one of our exposition characters in Chapter 2. The police just drop him off. I guess
get out.
I guess he made bail or something like that. And so I knew something bad was going to happen the moment he started going down a dark alley. And jump scare number 2.
Yeah. Well, the other thing also is, I mean, I didn't put both of them there, but before that moment, his eyes obviously were yellow.
Yeah.
They changed, and I actually read a post somewhere, and it makes a lot of sense. At the toxin poison that he has in that tail.
I'm wondering if that counts
going through his body.
I'm wondering if that counts as his
I think it does, because he's drawing the poison through it.
Because in the official companion guide, like for Ilya, it doesn't list a semblance for her. It lists just a skill, and that's her changing. But I mean, that could technically be her semblance, so maybe his semblance is the toxin. But I gotta say, Tyrion really...
Because it doesn't kill him, obviously.
Yeah. Tyrion really is becoming my favorite villain, just because he's so psychotic, but he's so dark. And, yeah, I mean, Forrest is dead. Like
he's done.
Yeah, the moment Tyrion showed up, I was like, he's dead. That's game over. Yeah. And that's how the episode ends, is with Forrest being brutally murdered by Tyrion in a back alley. We don't know exactly where that takes place. I mean, that could be the person he killed at the end of Chapter 2, but Tyrion didn't have his coat on, so I think it's a different time. Great episode at the end of the day. I really enjoyed it. It's been my...
Yeah.
There was a lot of episodes I enjoyed in Volume 6, obviously. But this one was the most well-rounded episode for a long time. Like, action, some story development, some character development. Really, like I said, I was scared to death that they were like the Ace Ops were going to totally overshadow Team RWBY in this. Well, I mean, they kind of did, but there's a reason for it. But I was worried that it was going to focus too much on them because before this episode, I didn't really care about the Ace Ops. They just I was kind of bummed. I was like, we've got too many characters already. But
they did it correctly.
Yeah, they did it definitely correctly.
This is how it should be. They needed to have that slight overshadow of the others because the others needed to see it. So there was really reason behind it.
And I mean, like I said, my biggest criticism is them pretty much skipping over the outfits and the haircut and Gamble being fixed. But that could definitely be touched upon in another episode, maybe chapter 4. Then this is what I wanted to say that talk for chapter 4 until now. They've already released the screenshot, the thumbnail, the time, the description for chapter 4. They did it Saturday after chapter 3. They've never done that before. It was wild. Chapter 4 is going to be 17 minutes long again. And it just has Weiss and RWBY in the picture, and it talks about how they are, after their successful first mission, they want to go to Mantle and help out there. So we're going back to Mantle, and it's been theorized that this could be the Tales of Ba Sing Se episode, where we get a little bit more one-on-one character development, some character building and stuff like that. So in the thumbnail, it's just RWBY and Weiss. So hopefully Blake and Yang are somewhere else together, and we get that talk.
Yeah.
And that's where they can go into the haircut, the Gamble being fixed. It was confirmed that Barbara and Aaron did record together for this volume for the first time since volume 2. So maybe that's where it happens. Maybe this is where we'll get a Ren and Nora moment. Maybe something with John, something with Oscar and Ironwood. That's a lot to fit into a 17-minute episode, but that would be a Tales of Ba Sing Se style episode. A moment with RWBY and Weiss, a moment with Blake and Yang, a moment with Ren and Nora, a moment with John, a moment with Oscar and Ironwood. That all happened in one episode, I believe, of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Tales of Ba Sing Se episode. So we need some downtime. We really do. So hopefully that happens. If you've not watched it yet, please watch our PSA video, because we need to figure out how we're going to do the reaction, whether we're going to keep doing what we've been doing, or we're just going to have it be us on the camera and not the episode, because, like I said, our Chapter 2 video still blocked. Even though we've disputed it, we've contacted Rooster Teeth, and our Chapter 3 reaction got blocked the very day we uploaded it. So, yeah, we really need to hear from you guys on the comments or on Twitter, because I know a lot of you that are subscribed are Twitter followers of ours. So yeah, let us know what you think you'd want to see, if you'd still watch, if it's just us and no episode, and you would just hear the audio, because those tend to not get blocked. So, until we figure out a more precise way to do this. But yeah, watch the PSA video. You got anything else to say?
No.
Of course not. Okay.
Oh.
Really, we need to do a blooper video at one point, because you would make a lot of people laugh. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. We might do another video today. I'm not sure. I'm starting to get hungry. I'm really hungry. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Share it. Click that notification bell. Subscribe. Check out the links in the description. Our Patreon's there. Our Twitters are there.
Our stores.
Our Etsy store.
Facebook,
our Square store.
everything.
Facebook. Everything is there. Look through the Patreon. Contact us on stuff that you would like to see on the Patreon. Like I said, there is just a $1 tier if you don't have a lot of money and you just want to support us. We are going to be adding stuff to that $1 tier. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. This was our Chapter 3 overview / analysis. And stay tuned for the next video. Bye.